Hello everybody, today is May 25th, 2021, and that means it has officially been 2 years since we purchased our 2019 Toyota RAV4 LE. So since it's been 2 years, I figured I would give you an update and a current tour of it. So we'll walk around the outside. This one, I believe, is in the finish known as Ruby Flare Pearl. There's a look at the driver's side. This one is very basic, including the fact that it only has, wheel covers, doesn't have rims or alloys. Here's a look at the back. See the LE badge right there. Here's a look at the other side. It was just taken in for an oil change today, as well as a tire rotation, I suppose, too. And here we are back at the front. Before we start touring, let's take a look at the window sticker. As you can see, RAV4 LE front-wheel drive SUV, that's covering the rest of the VIN, the year and the model, the color, which is Ruby Flare Pearl, assembled in Woodstock. Crash test wasn't rated because it was new at the time. Fuel economy, 2635, pretty good. And more info about the fuel economy. Here is the standard equipment. These are the safety convenience options. Exterior, interior, the MSRP of the car right there. These are the only options on the vehicle. This is a base model other than blind spot warnings. The color was technically special. However, when we purchased the car, they had a deal running, so we got that color, no extra cost, as well as the carpeted floor mats and the rear cargo cover, which this one does have. All for the total price of $27,339. There's the delivery, processing, and handling fee. We got it for a little less than that. But that is a window sticker. And on the back, Toyota. Let's go places. Let's start touring. Alright, now that we've seen the window sticker, let's start it up and take a tour of it. So, here are the keys that we got with it. I believe, nope, this is the key we've been using. This is the key we've been using with it. You can see it's laser cut and it's also a switchblade. But compared to this one, which is the new key, there's no markings on it, whereas with this one, there are. They're in pretty similar shape cosmetically, though, so there's nothing much to say about that. So you can see here's the key. And of course there are two of the key tags, which just have some information on it, including the first few numbers of the VIN and the stock number. We purchased this car from Spartan Toyota. I should have mentioned that before. Brand new. This is now the 5th vehicle from Spartan Toyota that we've leased. I suppose this is a 3-year lease, if I didn't mention that. So here's the key. It's just a basic switchblade key with laser engraved. Lock, panic, and unlock. You have to hold the panic button for it to go off. Here's the back. And the ring goes in the side there with this little chrome strip. So we'll go ahead and unlock it. 1 click unlocks the driver's door, 2 clicks unlocks the rest of the doors. And we'll go inside and start it up. You can see it's got a black interior. There's the door panel and the seats. Like I said, this is just black cloth. All of the seats are manual. Every mode is manual. You can see that's how you slide it back and forth. This is the height adjustment, and then this is to recline. It's a very nicely bolstered seat. You can see the floor mats down there. So with that said, we will go ahead and start it up. It's kind of hard to see in the daytime, but the gauges do light up. Well, I guess you can kind of see it. They do light up. And at this moment, it currently has 14,437 miles on it. Yes, it's low for being only at, for being at 2 years old. It's low mileage. So, we'll go ahead and start it up. Starts up nicely. So with that said, we'll go ahead and turn the headlights on, the brights, turn this off, I'll explain what that is in a moment, and the hazard lights. All of the windows are fully automatic down and up, so we'll roll down the driver's one, and I'll show you the lighting on the outside of the vehicle. So if you come around the front here, it does have LED headlights and brights that are very bright, as well as the turn signals, which light up sort of in the middle. It does not have fog lights. The base model just has these little cutouts. It has mirror turn signal indicators, but they're very hard to see in the sunlight. And around back, the brake lights, the signals, and the reverse lights are all right there. And there's the third brake light. Turn the headlights off, or the brights off, and I'll show you here. You can see that little section right there is now no longer lit up. Turn the headlights off. This does have daytime running lights. You can turn them off there. Contrast to my father's car where the daytime running lights are on all the time. There's no way to turn them off completely. And we'll turn the hazards off. Now we'll pop the hood, and I will show you the engine. This has a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, makes 203 horsepower. The prop rod on this is manual. It's right there. It's attached to the hood. The information right there on it. It's a very healthy engine. So we'll head back inside, roll up the window. I'm actually going to keep the window rolled down because it's very hot out. So here we have the window switches. Again, they're all automatic, and the rear ones on this vehicle do go all the way down. Window lock, lock unlock, mirror controls right here. Vent. This is for the automatic brights. In other words, it'll sense if there's a vehicle near you and turn the brights on. I usually keep them off. This is to dim the gauge cluster. It's kind of hard to see. And then you can also adjust the brightness of the screen, although it's kind of... It dims when the headlights are on. It's kind of hard to tell the difference. But you can dim it, and you can set it not to dim. We have the turn signals. And the courtesy blinker. Headlights already, like I showed you. Steering wheel's right here. Pretty loose steering, it's pretty easy to steer. It's easier to steer than the Jetta. I'll honk the horn real quick. It's a loud projecting horn, as Toyotas usually have. Under here is where the release for the hood and the fuel door are. There's a little shelf here to put stuff. Cup holders in the middle. Oh, I will show you the transmission. This is an 8-speed automatic transmission. controlled with the shifter on the floor. And then there is a manual mode, which you can see up on the gauge cluster, adjusts. And then there also is a reverse camera right there. And a leather shift boot. Right over here, we have the wiper controls. There are no intermittent wipers on this vehicle. You have one intermittent setting, and that is about 5-second delay. There's no little control to adjust it, which is very odd. And then you have on and on fast. And then you pull forward to wash, and it'll wash. And then you push up just to mist. The rear wipers control with the stock on the end. You have the intermittent setting right there. And then you also have an on setting, which is nice to have. And then to wash it, you push back like that. And there it goes, doing a courtesy wipe. The steering wheel is adjustable. You can go up or down. You can also go in, out. I tend to like it all the way up and over, or all the way up and out. Here's the gauge cluster, tachometer. That's the temperature of the vehicle. You have the little info screen in the middle, which you can adjust to show various different things. I typically just leave it on the speed, distance to empty. And that is the speedometer. It goes up to 140. Moving on over, you can see here we have the normal, eco, and sport modes. When you actually press one, the gauge cluster lights up, red or green. I leave it on normal usually. This would be controls if you had the adventure model, but this is not the adventure model. You have the electronic parking brake, which you pull to activate, put your foot on the brake and push to deactivate. From the factory it comes to a setting, which I will show you, where it'll automatically engage when you shift into, there it goes. Basically from the factory it comes where when you disengage the shifter, the parking brake goes off, and then when you re-engage it, it comes on. I turned that off just because I don't use the parking brake unless I'm parked on a steep hill, but you just push or pull to deactivate it like that. Cup holders in the middle, I already mentioned, they can accommodate different size cups. Under here you have an aux jack as well as a USB port, which will project up onto the screen, and a 12-volt outlet. You have the traction control off button and a button that doesn't exist. Passenger airbag off, and different warnings there. Climate control system, which I know on the XLE and up it's different, but on this one you have on-off right here. You can adjust it all the way up. And it actually does get going pretty high, and you've got a couple different modes, and you can turn it back off like that, or you can turn it on just by moving the switch. You have the front defroster, rear defroster. This is the different zones. You can hear it moving, and it'll depict them. You have the recirc button, the air conditioning button, which for some reason automatically turns on the recirc. I don't know why that is. I don't use the recirc, so that's kind of annoying. And you can hear the compressor comes on and back off, and then max AC, which turns all of those on and just blasts it. And then of course right here you have the temperature control right there. If you had an XLE or higher, these would be buttons and these would be buttons. On those it had dual zone climate control, so these both become they both become like this. They both become temperature knobs, and then I think the off button gets moved to here, and so does like the zones, and then like the heated seat buttons are on each side. I'm not sure how it works. I'll insert a picture here if I can find one of what the XLE looks like, and then this is a blank switch. Hazards in the middle, which I already showed. The vents right here, which you can adjust. Doesn't hold a candle, though, to the old circular vents that Toyota used. I always loved those. This infotainment screen is very difficult to demonstrate all in one video. I'll just show you the radio, but you hit it. You can turn it on. You got menu. You can go to, well, I guess that's it. Audio will take you to all the different apps, you know, source. You can have aux, Bluetooth, whatever, station list, sound options, map, will take you to the N2 nav suite. If you have, we've never been able to get it to work, but supposedly you can use like Google Maps through the car. That's another thing. If you plug your phone in using the USB port, it will talk. If you run Google Maps, it will talk through the speakers of the car. Seek and track already, you know, you can go back and forth. Phone would be if you had a phone hooked up, which there's not a phone, but that phone is registered with the car. And then apps, which this is all of the, there's none on here. This is very responsive too. I mean, you can see I'm just very slowly dragging it. It responds. And communications, where you can, you know, hit stuff for the car. And that's about all there is. That's easy to show. And then, of course, you can zoom, you know, you scroll through like this, and then we'll leave it on that. And you have the Steve Miller Band and volume. Stereo in this car is very good. So, in here, we'll have to warn you, it's a little messy, but this is the center console. Pretty good amount of storage, as you can see. There's just some stuff in there. This comes down and serves as an armrest. The seat belts are adjustable, handle. The sun visor's up here. There's the mirror, which you can slide closed with the light. Of course, you can also swing them across like this, so that they do not come out farther like on some vehicles. Garage door opener, right there, other one. Dome lights up here. SOS, which we don't have hooked up. And then the glasses case, and you can turn the lights on here. You can set it to when you open the door, they'll come on. We usually leave them off though, and then sun like that. Rear view mirror, which is manually dimming, as you can see here. And you can adjust it, of course. And there's the other mirror handle there, and then the back handles have hooks. Hopefully you can see that. So that's really all there is to show up here. I should have shown though, oh, and this is where you can like select phones and stuff. It's a touch screen. I think I showed that already, which it's a pretty advanced screen, I will say that. You do not get a CD player though. I wish you could get a CD player, but unfortunately you can't. And then obviously you have the radio controls here. This is for up here. If you control with stuff, you can use this to arrow back. And then the volume for the radio. And then this is a pretty cool feature here. Hello.
Please try again.
Does have the voice feature. Although, I don't use it much. And then the mode, and then this is also for seeking and tracking on the radio. And then you can adjust the volume here, which is pretty cool. So that's really all there is to see up here. I think I've shown everything. The passenger side, and then there's a little shelf here. Glove box, which has the manual and a bunch of other stuff in it. So let's move on to the back seat. Roll up the window. You do have door pockets here. Oh, before we go to the back seat, let's give it a couple revs. You can see the pedals are right down here. Very easy to find, and the dead pedal. So let's give it a couple revs. Even just being a 4-cylinder, this thing has pretty good revving power, I will say that. So with that said, we'll go ahead and we'll shut it down. We'll move on to the back seat. While we're back here, I'll show you the fuel door. They moved the fuel door release from down here somewhere to up here, and unless you know which one is which, I mean, they're right next to each other. It's like a Nissan, so you kind of have to just hope that you pull the right one. It's a big fuel door. And of course this takes, regular unleaded gasoline. Supposedly it has a hook there, but it doesn't hold it very well, as you can see. Turn it one click, and it does actually lock. So here's the back seat. Those are actually the tags from earlier when it was oil changed. Pretty wide opening for back door. You can adjust the child safety locks. So this seat is all the way back because that's where I sit, and I'm 5'8". I can still lay down a little bit. There's a little bit of room. There's not a giant hump in the middle to climb over either. You do have a power outlet back here. No vents. Instead you have this little cup holder thing. Or not a cup holder, but it's a little storage tray. Back seat pocket. Headrests up here do go up, as you can see. Bar back here. It is a little cramped back here, but one thing that does help with that are the reclining rear seats. Basically, you can recline the rear seats with this handle, and of course you can fold them down too. So that makes up for it being kind of small back here. And there is a dome light that you can set to come on with the door and stuff, which is pretty cool. You also do have cup holders and an armrest right here. No pass-through. And yeah, that seat's a little dirty. And like I said, you can fold the seats down, although not much more than this. And the seat belt is right here for back here. Come to the trunk. It's not powered, at least not on the LE. And you have a pretty decent sized trunk. This sunshade is removable and you can actually store it under here, but I brought it out for the video. You can hook it in like that and it serves as a cover. There's a cargo area light, some grocery hooks, and a little storage container back here, which if you want to pull out, you can pull out. You just have to get it back in the right way. There we go. Back here we have a floor mat, and then under here, that is the little donut, and then right here is actually how you store the sunshade. You lift these up on both sides and then it fits in right there. So it does actually store. You don't have to put it in your garage or anything. That's what the wheel well looks like for the spare tire and the jack and the tools. That's really all there is to see back here. I took the sunshade out so you can see what it looks like without it. As you can see, it's pretty much the same, just no sunshade. And then there are hooks for car seats. And that's all there is back here. There are handles here. Again, it's manual, being that this is an LE. Here's the other side. There's the key tags from earlier today. This is a little stained. Here you can see the better reclining with the back seats, and you can fold this forward too. One thing I like that they changed over the 2016 models, they moved the middle seat belt from up there to actually on the seat. That's where it should be. The old one you had to like hook in down here and then bring it over. It was a hassle, especially when you wanted to put the seat down. It's just much easier to have it in the middle like that, and you can just drop it down like that. And there's the other side door pocket and the door handle. Here's the passenger seat. Same. The handle is back here on this one for the recline. This one does not have height adjustment, so it sits pretty low. RAV4 floor mats. I forgot to mention that. That's just a little dirt. Very comfortable step-in height. Glove box again. Non-locking. You already saw the visor here. And that's pretty much all there is to see. Lock and unlock there too. So that is a tour and update of the 2019 Toyota RAV4 LE. But before we say that's it, why don't we get some driving footage? Alright, let's do some driving. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little driving clip of the 2019 RAV4. That's going to end the video, so there you have it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and click like if you like what you see, and follow me on the web, wix.com/theelevatorworld/fans. Bye-bye.